Welcome back to my channel where we'll simplify Java concepts for you. Today I've got a couple of quick and fun exercises for you to understand the difference between System.out.print and System.out.println as well as string concatenation in Java. These are perfect for beginners or anyone looking to brush up on the Java skills. Let's dive right in. First, I want you to try solving the first exercise on your own. So here's your challenge. So what you have to do is create a new Java class called printDemo. Inside this class, create a main method. You don't have to type the full method. Just use VSCode to generate it for you. And then you'll have 4 pieces of text. We have hello, world, this is, and Java. And your goal is to print them in this particular format. So this is how you want to print. This is your first string. This is your second string. This is your third. And this is your fourth. Note that the first and second strings are printed in the same line, while the third and the fourth strings are printed in the next or a new line. So try solving this exercise yourself and then you can compare your code with mine. The point is to practice Java so that you can have familiarity and more confidence, and that's how you'll be able to solve more complex problems in the real world. And yeah, every expert today was once a beginner. So here's the second piece of exercise. Okay. Yeah. So it is about string concatenation. So this time I want you to focus on string concatenation. You have to create a new class called concatenation demo, and inside the main method you have to define 2 variables, first name and last name. Okay, and then you have to assign them your first and last names, and then finally use concatenation to print a greeting message that includes your full name like this. So this is your output, expected output that you should be getting it. Okay, so I would suggest take a few minutes to try this on your own and pause this video right now, write your name and paste your code in the comment section once you are done, and then come back to see the solution. So here's my piece of solution. Okay, let me go back to VS Code. I'll simply create a new class. I'll click on this plus button and I'll type print demo.java. I'll hit the enter key. Okay, so it has created this class skeleton for me. All right, now what I'll do is I'll create a main method. Again, I'll use VS Code for the same. I'll simply type main. I'll use the down arrow key, press the enter. Okay, so we have this main method as well. Now, as I've already mentioned earlier, so main is the entry point of our Java program, and whatever code we'll write inside the main method, it will be executed. So I'll switch back to my whiteboard and see. So what do I have to do now? So I've created a class and then I've created a method. Okay, now I want 4 pieces of text, or in other words, strings. And I want to print hello and world separated by a space and comma and print on the same line. So for the first string, I'll use System.out.print method. But for second string, I'll use System.out.println method. So here's my piece of code. Okay, I'll use System.out.println. Okay, I'll type hello, comma and space. All right, I'll simply copy it, Command C. I'll press enter. Okay, I'll remove this ln from here and then I'll use print again. I'll do world with an exclamation, of course. All right, so now we are left with 2 pieces of text, and that is what we want to print, and those are this is and Java. But third text I want to print on a new line, and the fourth text I want to print in the same line. So what I'll have to do is, so I'll change my second print method to println, which stands for new line, bullet and enter after world. So whatever we'll type afterwards will be printed in a new line. Now let me just copy and paste 2 more println methods. So I'll copy it, Command C, Command V, Command V again. I'll change this println to print. Okay, right, and then I'll change this also to this is, which is my third string, and this to Java, which is my fourth string. Okay, so we have now set up autosave functionality in our VS Code, so we don't have to save our code each and every time, and VS Code is automatically doing it for us. So I'll simply run this program, click on the run button. Okay, so this is my output. Alright, so in case you are just watching this video, I would strongly suggest please code along with me, as the more you'll practice, the more confidence you'll get in with Java. Now, can we hide this particular console when we don't want it? Absolutely. It's very simple. Simply click on this particular icon, twice and this will hide the terminal. I'll click on once, I'll click on second. Okay, so when you run your code again, it will come automatically. So did you get it right? As you can see, this System.out.print method, it prints the text and keeps the cursor on the same line, while this System.out.println method, it prints the text and then it moves the cursor to the next line. So this is very simple but a fundamental piece of difference that can greatly affect how your program's output looks. Now we can run the same code in Eclipse also, and so let's go back to Eclipse. So I'll come to Eclipse, I'll right click on new, this class, I'll give this class as print demo. Alright, so this will not only give the class name as print demo, but the file name is also printdemo.java. Also select this particular checkbox, public static void main, which will generate the main method automatically. Click on the finish button. Okay, so here is an auto generated comment by Eclipse which I don't want, so I'll click here and do command D to remove it. So let's go back to VSCode and copy our code and paste it in Eclipse. I'll simply do command C, go back to my Eclipse, do command V. Alright, so we can see this asterisk or star key at the top, which suggests that our code is not saved yet. Simply press the command and S keys together to save and it's done. Or if you are on Windows, simply do Ctrl and S. Okay, so we have saved our code. Now to run the program, simply right click, select run as Java application. And here is the output in Eclipse console. So we can use any IDE as per our preference and we'll get the same output. And we can click on this clear console button, this one, clear console button to clear the Eclipse console. I'll click on it and it's cleared. And in case you haven't pasted your solution yet in the comments, please post your output in the comments and let's move on to the next exercise. So I'll go back to my whiteboard. Okay, I'll scroll down and here is my second piece of exercise. Alright, so this time I want you to focus on string concatenation. So you have to create a new class called concatenation demo, and inside the main method, I want you to define two variables, first name and last name, and notice that they are in camel case. And for variables, we have to start the first name as in lowercase letter. So F and L starts as lowercase, okay? And assign them your first and last names. Then use concatenation to print a greeting message that includes your full name. And this is how your output should look like, okay? So here's my solution and you can compare on your own. So on Mac, you can use the touch command also to create a file. Let me switch to VS Code. Okay, I'll clear this console by typing clear, press enter. Alright, so this time instead of clicking on this plus button and create a new file, I'll create a new file from my terminal. So what I'll do touch and then I'll use concatenation demo.java and I'll press the enter key. Okay, so this has created this file and it is a completely empty file. Let me close all other tabs. Alright, and it is completely blank. Now, as I mentioned, we can use VS Code to generate the class skeleton for us. So I'll simply type class, I'll press the enter and it has generated the skeleton for me. Okay, right. And notice that it has used the same class name as the file name, which is a mandate. Now, I'll generate the main method. So what I'll do is I'll simply type main. I'll select the second option by pressing the down arrow. I'll hit enter. So it has generated my main method also. Okay. Now let me hide this console. Yeah. All right. So what I'll do is, so this class is completely independent from our previous class, which is print demo. So this is my first class that I have created for my first exercise and it is completely independent of the second class, which is concatenation demo.java. Okay, now, and if I click on the run button inside this concatenation demo.java, it will execute the code inside this class and not the print demo class. So from where you hit this run button actually matters. Now, I want to create two variables, first name and last name, and it will show my first name and last name. So I'll use string with a capital S. Okay, let me create the two variables, string with a capital S, first name with a lowercase f equal to my first name, which is Piyush. I'll use a semicolon to mark the end of statement. And then I'll use string, last name with the lowercase l. I'll equate it to Gupta, which is my surname. And I'll use semicolon to end the statement. Alright, so we'll use strings in a later class. So don't worry much about how this string actually works. But for now, just understand that we can create any string using the string keyword. And notice that there are two yellow lines below the first name and last name. So this is not an error as it is in yellow. If it was a red underline, then it was an error and we would have to fix it. So In order to find out what this warning is and what it means, simply bring the mouse on this warning. And that's it. So it says the local variable is not used. It's a nice feature where VS Code is just telling us that we have declared a string variable, but we have not used it. Now, let me add System.out.println method and use these two variables, so this warning will be gone. I'll use System.out.println. Okay, right. And here I'll type hello with a comma and a space, and I'll use plus. I'll use first name. I'll type enter. Again, I'll use the plus operator to concatenate with a blank string, and then I'll again use a plus operator to concatenate it with my last name. Okay, and then I'll equal it with this. All right, and I'll use a semicolon at the end. Perfect. Okay, so let me just keep it here. Okay, so what I've done is I'm concatenating 5 pieces of text here, and it's totally up to us how we want to concatenate. Notice that we have used this plus operator to concatenate 2 strings. Okay, so hello and a comma is our first string, which we are concatenating with first name variable, and further we are concatenating with the space and then with last name and then followed by this exclamation. Now let's run this program and see the output. Click on the run button. Okay, so this is my output. So we have got a space between Piyush and Gupta. It's because of this space. Okay, suppose if I remove it, let me remove the exclamation mark also. Okay, I'll simply do this. I'll remove this exclamation mark also, and I'll rerun my piece of code. Okay, so this is my output. Now there is no space between my first name and last name, and the exclamation mark is also gone. So it's totally up to us how we want to concatenate. And I would like to hear from you. How did you do when you're practicing with me? Have you posted your answers in the comments below? If not, please do it right now. So by using string concatenation using the plus operator, you can combine different pieces of text and variables to create dynamic messages. This is a powerful technique that you will use frequently in Java programming. So take some more time to experiment with string concatenation. Try combining different strings and variables to see how the output changes. And the more you practice, the more comfortable you'll become with these basic but essential Java concepts. Hope you have liked this video. Please like it if you found it valuable. This actually helps this video to rank higher as per the algorithm. And consider subscribing for more technical content. And if you are liking my work, please share it on LinkedIn or with your friends, and stay tuned and happy learning. Piyush Gupta, your virtual coach, signing off.